Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again so much for joining me here. I hope you're having a phenomenal day. Let's take a quick look at Solana, see what's going on. There's some really interesting identifications on the chart here we want to pay attention to. So if you're new to the channel, just want to say welcome aboard. Thanks again so much for joining me here. Let's take a quick look here and just discuss the quick fact that we broke through this tentative resistance level about 177, 178. The price action broke through and is now retracing, of course, concurrent with Bitcoin. But really, Solana was looking pretty strong yesterday. It's pushing really hard right now, and it bounced perfectly off of that fib level there at 170. Now, we did secure some good profits here from Solana on the way down. What is it? We took 22% on the way down there yesterday, as well as near protocol 30% and 20% from Bitcoin. Those are just some 5 to 10x leverage shorts that we took within a few days ago, right? But the whole point of me showing that to you is that you got to get in and get out if you're going to consider shorting Solana. It's not a coin you want to just hold on to the moon with, right? So keep in mind it is pulling back, but it's still very strong. It recovered a lot quicker than most other coins. So just bear that in mind. If Bitcoin does rally back up to 67K or surpass that, I think Solana has tremendous potential to retest that 185 area. Okay, so again, we're going to close this off or remove that because that didn't happen. And what we're looking at here is the backend data is kind of double check here. This lower level liquidation, even though the price wicked down to 170, it didn't get all the liquidation, got just barely a small piece of it. So that 170, 169 range still has almost $1 billion worth of liquidation, okay? So actually, if you add all this up, it's somewhere in the range, probably 1.5, you go down as low as 169. Keep in mind also, 166 is that secondary level of liquidation. So there's still a solid chance the price could pull back because of that. Okay, and again, we look at the larger time frames, you can see roughly 1.1 billion at 170. And then if we look up higher, there's about 3/4 billion up at about 185. Again, you're going to see a large accumulation of volume, or in this case, liquidation above key level resistances, which is right here. 3/4 billion there, and then we got 1.1 billion somewhere in this range. Okay, so a lot of liquidation in both directions. There's no other way around it. We're kind of in the middle of that range too. So that really doesn't necessarily tell us too much, minus the fact that there's incentive at those areas. And the important thing to understand is that you probably don't want to have your liquidation level in that same area because it's going to be a statistic, right? The key takeaway here that I like to kind of mention is that liquidation levels, if you're considering a position, take a long position at 169, for example, when the price comes down to sweep that area. That you're going to have much better luck in that regard than you will to try to have a high leveraged liquidation event occur at that same place, right? Anyways, different strategies. Obviously, it's not just that simple, but that's generally the concept. I explain this in my training university, and of course, if you're not part of that, be sure to read through that. To my community members, I have some new features here. University tab here, of course, just to quickly link you to the university in our website. Most people forget that that's there, and it's important for you to watch those videos, I feel. Same thing with trade alerts. I provide this to all of my members here, just kind of giving you detailed analysis on coins after I review them, and just kind of giving you an idea of my trade setups and where I'm going to go with the trade later. So at this point, Solana daily time frame, we want to recognize a few things here. We're still bullish. Same thing with Bitcoin too. We don't need to get crazy and weird about the fact that the price pulling back is an abnormal thing. It's very standard, very normal. Again, this level at 164, generally that 165 to 166 range based on liquidation, is the more recent high. My money is the price action coming down to that level and bouncing. It just makes sense. Generally, that's how it works. It's usually on average close to that 0.382 fib level, which it is, and we could see the price action potentially bounce there. Again, that's just a natural area of retracement. It's not a guarantee, but certainly a probability. When we take a look at probabilities here, the likelihood of the price continuing lower is still high here because we are stochastically swinging down on the daily. Generally, the second swing is a lot stronger because you've failed to break through that resistance level and it pulls back, okay? Money flow index is still pretty high though. That's the thing we got to recognize here. Solana still pretty strong. So that's all the more reason why you want to be careful and respect this coin and generally don't trade into it, okay? When I say trading into it, I just mean shorting. And I know you're probably wondering, why the heck did you do that recently? Well, there's a lot of divergences, a lot of reasons to do it, but we got in, we got out, the price rallied back. It's literally one of those coins you want to be very careful. I mean, there's if you look at the last, 20 days, there's only about 3 or 4 red days. So there's a reason for that. Okay. So again, increase your statistical probability and you're more likely to find success. And that's what technical analysis is here. And I would say statistically, Solana has more propensity to increase than decrease, even still at this moment. Let's take a look at the 4-hour and see. We balanced out 50 on the RSI there perfectly. Stochastic swinging up, money flow index following suit. and MACD looks like it wants to converge here. It's getting stronger and closer. So there's a solid chance we could very well see the price action rally back. Now, when I see these kind of things on the chart, this leads me to believe the coin is still bullish, but it doesn't mean we just blindly take longs, okay? Because when we look at the hourly time frame, that's generally what I like to use for confirmation. We have broken above the cloud. The lagging span is kind of intersecting within the price action. It's about to potentially going to hit that level there, and the conversion line's over the baseline. So the easy way to understand this is mostly bullish. This is mostly a good sign, and generally good positive things happen when you take trades in the same direction you're supposed to. So I would say at this point we have broken tentatively bullish with Solana. You'd probably want to wait for Bitcoin to close, at least on the daily, to maintain the 66,000 level at the very least. I don't think Solana is going to dump if Bitcoin pulls back, but I do feel like Solana is going to retrace with it. Okay, and if Bitcoin continues to pull back, which is establishing a bearish engulfing candle on the hourly here, generally that's unfavorable, rejecting off that point of control on 67,000. I would say that Solana is due for a bit of a correction, but once more, is it going to be monumental? Is it going to be huge? Probably not. I would say you're probably better off waiting for Bitcoin to close. Bitcoin's point of control for the day, last 2 days average, is about 66,500. So me personally, if Bitcoin closes at 66.5 or lower, that would imply the bears are still in control and the price is going to continue down. If that is the case, then Solana may also follow suit. Just once again, as you can see here, it recovers a lot quicker than most coins and is showing a lot of strength with a tremendous amount of volume. So do not short into this coin at this point. I don't care if it rakes down and drops. I would still be happy to have missed a potentially hazardous trade than to take one that has a you want to just trade in the direction things are going, right? And generally speaking, Solana's recovered very well and it's absolutely looking good right now. Okay. And again, I know there's some folks that are probably shaking their head. They're like, what the heck? Yesterday you said it's bearish and it's going to go down. Yeah, that was yesterday. Today's today. That's how cryptocurrency and just trading in general works. You have to consistently go with the flow and, pay attention to validations and invalidations. I'll update our chart here, of course. We'll post this on Twitter, Telegram, and Discord, just so you know if you're not familiar. I do have consistent, relevant updates here for you folks. But the thing I want you to recognize is just the simple fact that, Solana is a coin that's super strong, and there's a solid chance we could see further upside. But once more, Bitcoin pulling back, you got to be careful. So I hope that makes sense. I hope I described that correctly. Why don't you comment below if you get a chance, like the video before you go. Join us over with BitUnix too, phenomenal exchange, highly recommend them. Excellent rewards, use my link to register. These guys have been awesome to us. We use them as a community, and I can tell you that in the last year's worth of trading, we've had a lot of good feedback. Okay, no KYC or VPN is the main reason why, but I can tell you they've actually stepped up their game. They're a phenomenal exchange. Thanks again, folks. Hope you have a great rest of the day. We'll see you the next one. Take care.